The Ravenwing. There are 10 companies, each of 100 battle brothers, making up the fighting brethren of the Dark Angels chapter of Space Marines. Each company is led by a captain, assisted by an assigned lieutenant, and supported by medics, communications officers, and psychers drawn from the apothecarian and librarian. Number 7 company is a specialised recon and attack company, known as the Ravenwing. Instead of the usual Dark Angel motif, brothers of the company sport a black wing overlaid by the company number on the right shoulder armour. Equipped and trained for high-speed reconnaissance, the Ravenwing specialises in hit-and-run warfare and search and destroy missions. At full operational level, Ravenwing boasts 10 squads of 10 riders, each divided into 2 battle units of 5 riders. One is led by the squad sergeant, and the other by the squad's most senior brother trooper. The company's captain, lieutenant, and ancillary staff are additional to this total. The Ravenwing's exact origins are lost in the history of the First Crusade, circa the 30th millennia, around 10,000 years ago. Indeed, little is known of the Dark Angels during that time. The chapter's early history was removed from all imperial records following the Horus Heresy and the banishment of the 9 Treacher Legions to the Eye of Terror. The reason for the erasure now is known only by the Emperor himself. According to legend, the chapter was founded by Lionel Jacobson, or Johnson, a man whose reputed exploits include the incineration of the Goyas asteroid and the first sublight circumnavigation of the Outer Dolmens. He is said to have died defending the honour of the chapter in a duel with Leman Russ, the founder of the Space Wolves chapter. This may be true, but it is more likely that the story was invented following the interlegionary wars in the 32nd millennia. In any case, the 2 chapters have remained rivals at best and outright enemies at worst ever since. More recently, the Dark Angels undertook the initial invasion of Rastabal, year 465 of the current millennia, pursued Tyranid Hive Fleet Behemoth during the last Tyrannic War, 678 to 745, and took part in the final assault upon the space fortress of the pretender Caligar during the 4th Quadrant Rebellion in 780. In the current year, 987, the chapter is engaged in the war against the Caradon Orcs around Rynn's World and Bad Landing. In 986, the Dark Angels received an imperial order to relieve Rynn's World. The planet was then under siege following the almost complete destruction of the Crimson Fist Marines at the hands of the Orc warlord, Snagrod, the arch-arsonist of Caradon. As the Dark Angels approached orbit around Rynn's World, their fleet took a severe beating from a vastly superior Orc force. The Dark Angel fleet was eventually driven from orbit, but not before it had made a single pass in which Recon Unit Lada 7, Ravenwing, was dropped into a declining orbit. Captain Gaius Oblonsky's first mission as captain of the company was to be no easy ride. Hitherto, the Ravenwing had been led by Tarquin Hesperides, until his transporter accident and subsequent retirement to the chapter Apothecarian. The company was inserted in 11 dropships, the first 10 holding squads 1 to 10, while ship 11 contained the captain and other staff. Equipped with the new Mark XIV Bullock jet cycles, the unit staged the first ever aerial drop separation manoeuvre, which involves flying out of the dropships before they hit the ground. This proved to be a good decision, as only 2 of the company's 11 dropships landed intact. By then, of course, they were empty. With the rest of the chapter driven into deep space, Oblonsky and the Ravenwing were left to fend for themselves. They did remarkably well, raiding and destroying 2 of the 3 equatorial ground-to-space defense sites before hurrying to reinforce the surviving units of the Crimson Fists at New Rynn City. The organisation and assignment charts indicate the type of bike armament and equipment carried by the various officers and men of each of the Ravenwing's 10 squads. Number 4 dropship was hit by a Caradon ship whilst in orbit, and the number 4 squad was lost in its entirety. No other casualties were sustained in the drop. Configuration 001, codename Raven's Talon, consists of attack troopers. Configuration 002, codename Raven's Beak, were attack support. Config 003, codename Raven's Eye, were scouts. Configuration 004, codename Raven's Flight, were special scouts. Configuration 005, codename Raven's Nest, consisted of officers. Ravenwing officers consist of the Astropath, Vidi Lazar, the Astropath, Rumman Koch, the Captain, Galus Oblonsky, Lieutenant Jin Antonic, Medic, Kylex Kildare, Medic, Cassius Hassett, Communications, Mayak Rufus, and the other communications officer, Cloth Bibulus. The Ravenwing carries only light equipment suitable for its role as a fast-moving assault force. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, then please be sure to like and subscribe, or even leave a comment. I always try my best to reply to them all. You can even now support the channel by joining the Patreon page, details of which are in the description below. Thank you again for watching, and always remember to drill your barrels.